Welcome back to another episode of Outdoor Guys.
Mostly indoors, but not today.
Today we got a special episode.
Not special, hold on. This is going to be a story.
Welcome to the Dover Fish Plant.
For over 500 years, the waters off of Newfoundland have been considered one of the world's richest fishing grounds. The fishery shaped communities and cultures. Dover is not excluded in this. Though it started as a logging town, eventually it was required that the fishery become the backbone of Dover as well.
So we're at the site of the old sawmill owned by Mac Rogers, my wife's grandfather.
And this is where all the lumber for the fish plant was cut. So when you see the pictures of the old building, what they did was they sawed all the lumber here, where we're standing.
Back in '61, we had this massive fire that started at Travers Brook, made its way to Muscle River, which wiped out the whole coast. Well, Dover, Hare Bay area was basically logging towns, as was Centerville, Wareham, Trinity area. With the fire goes the employment. So for a long period of time, this area was feeling a lot of devastation. As a town council, we were extremely concerned about the future of the town.
I'm here with Mr. Carl Parsons. So he was mine and Danny's principal at the school. Danny actually said didn't know if he could come here because he was a little bit worried. A little timid. Me and Carl work together now on recreation, Dover Recreation. Anyway, we wanted to get his input because he was also the mayor of this town.
So as a town council, we had some discussion with the Minister of Fisheries at the time, and that was at the time that government had announced no more fish plants in the province. Through the jigs and reels, applications got made. Then we got approval from Tom Rideout to support an application for a bit of a development in terms of a plant for processing herring. That slipped by, not a consideration as a fish plant. Luckily, we made a deal with Mac Rogers, who was a sawmill operator here, to cut on his block. We used his equipment, his logging area, his camp area. We had men cutting logs from January up until the ice went. We had Mac sawing lumber from then until close to December. Built a building 50 by 80, did the breastwork along the beach area, backfilled the land, and at the end of the year we had a plant built, and we had operating that under the advice of Wally Roberts. Eric Horan then took it over for a while. Finally, Jim Matcham came on the scene. Jim is the man that gave that plant a major boost. Jim put everything into it. Jim operated for the longest time, and eventually he sold out to the Berry Group. They took the plant beyond any expected reach. But the big push on that plant came also with Jim Payne. And I don't hesitate to give Jim credit. As Jim Matcham said, he could give Jim his wallet. And Jim worked that plant as though it was his own baby. And he's still doing the same today. I think that's the major piece for the success of the plant, is Jim Payne and the crew that he hired.
It seemed like everything moved very fast. Like, you know,
It did. There was utmost cooperation from government, local municipality, and from the Development Association.
I was 17 years old and I went to St. John's to work heavy equipment. I got out of school on a Friday, I left on a Sunday. He had offered me a job in St. John's on a dozer. When I came home, I'm only 17 years old. Vince Davis came and asked if I would go down to Dover for the weekend because they're going to push some filming on the beach down there for the Bell Fish Plant. That's how far I goes back here. I came down there, the first load of set fill that was dumped there, right where that shack is to right now, I pushed it in. Denny Saunders, Gerald Brown, a couple more dump trucks was dumping fill from Lockers Bay there, and I was pushing it down in this hole. So that's how far I goes back here. I continue on with heavy equipment, and then Jamie was born. Going away now for weeks on end. So I came, I was there for the week. I was there working for 2 weeks when the guy that owned it at the time, Eric Orm, asked me if I would go to fishery college and get a certificate and run this plant. That's 45 years ago. Yeah. I went to fishery college for 2 winters and I got my certificate. And I came here as manager and I've been here ever since. First year I come here, I had to dig a ditch across the road with a pick and shovel and hook a hose onto the hydrant to get water into the plant. No water and sewer there then. But the first 4 or 5 years I was there, right, the heavy equipment was what fed me, because it was only a month of summer. Sometimes you get 6 weeks, 8 weeks. Then I had to go somewhere and feed my family. And then I'm back again next year, People used to say, Jim, you're so silly if you had that. I said, no, why, something happened one of those days, right?
And just as in any organization, and especially for a fish plant, the most important resource.
The people, the workers.
A fish plant's operation relies on the dedication and skill of many workers behind the scenes. From processing lines to quality assurance, equipment maintenance, and cleanup crews, each role is vital to keeping everything running efficiently. And now, let us hear directly from the dedicated people whose work keeps this plant thriving.
So out of the 14 species of fish that you produce here, which do you enjoy processing the most and why?
I enjoy all of them really, because every different species is different things you do with them, and we're keep quality control. It always keeps us busy. But I'm saying my main one probably is cod.
Okay.
Because cod, we're outside doing what we gotta do, take the fish for the fishermen out of the vets to be bring in to be sampled. You comes in and fills in when you got to, so your time just flies in front of a day.
Do you see yourself working here for years to come?
Well, at my age, probably.
Maybe till retirement?
Yeah, I plan on it. I'm home in my bed every night, which I enjoys.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing good here. I say I'm gonna be here pretty much until I retire.
So in the fishing industry, freshness is priority. Being part of QC like you are, you had to be here a lot of hours, a lot of time.
It's hard, so very tiring, getting up at 4 every morning, 7 days a week. My boyfriend works here too, so that obviously helps a little bit. We actually do get to see each other. And for the past 2 summers, my daughter has been here as a student, working. It saves us from having to move away to go to work. It keeps food on the table and bills paid.
Cod.
Cod?
I like deboning, I like trimming, I like cleaning it, I like scrubbing it. And I love working here. And I had 28 seasons here.
Started in April, so going on almost 7 months now. I like it here. Just get a nice environment, and everybody we work with is get along with everybody, right?
Yeah, awesome. Perfect.
A lot of fun and jokes, so.
Joe, how long have you been working here?
37 years.
Oh.
Long time. Yeah. I come here in 88 about. Long time. I enjoyed it there.
Yeah. You see yourself working here till retirement?
Another 5 years.
Yeah.
I was 75 then. I'm 70 now.
Retirement? Okay. Just reword that. You see how many years after your retirement you What are you eating? Fish?
Yeah, all fish. Tongues and cheeks. Don't tell Jim Payne.
Friendly work environment, and I don't have to be gone all the time for work anymore. 3 weeks at a time, and not home. Almost 5 years now.
And where do you live?
Pound Cove. I'd probably prefer Caitlin, just because busy, flat out.
Open, faster pace.
Well, to me, I don't mind doing any of it, but personally, I like turbot and cod because it gives me a chance to interact with my co-workers more and makes the workplace just more enjoyable. Like you can talk, you know what I mean? Like it's busy, but it's not, you know what I mean? It's steady, but it's fun.
Kayla, what area do you work in?
Right now I'm in fisherman's payroll and accounts payable.
And how long have you been working there?
6 years. I did 2 years on production floor, and then I moved up here.
So you do everybody's payroll, essentially?
Fisherman. Only fisherman's payroll.
Fisherman only?
Yeah, fisherman only.
Okay.
All the local guys that I'm doing their payroll here.
Daphne, what keeps you working there?
Job schedule, for one. Yeah. I don't have to drive to Gander or, for years, Ontario. Close to home. You're not working 52 weeks a year. You do get a break. Yeah. And we got a lot of wonderful staff here that we take time off if need to. Yeah. And we work hard when we're all here together. I do the workers' payroll. I do monthly and do inventory. I'm technical support when needed. Jack of all trades, master of none. My brother is the boss.
Yeah.
And actually I helped him out at the time of being hired because his secretary had injury and he needed somebody fast. So what ended up was supposed to be a few months' work, ended up 27 years.
Well, the last 19 years I've been into the quality control area, but recently I've took on the quality assurance manager. Well, what we have here is what's called a PCP, which is a preventive control plan. So every day we implement everything that would be in that book, and everyone takes their part.
Vanessa is the one that's been taking us around, giving us the tour of the entire facility, and we want to thank her for that because that was crazy. Like you're in on 100 things coming at you at once, plus making sure that we're safe and where we're supposed to be. So thank you very much for that, and thanks for taking us around.
Well, our job position for the plant, like when production's on the go, if production is behind us there, we got this area. Plus now, like you said, if there's 100 people, 150 people, or at times, we got to do the whole areas. Everything got to go, from strapping to the end of it.
We have to clean everywhere, and before we leave at night time, we want it to look kind of like fine dining here. Foam down.
Sanitize. Last time we done was a couple days ago was with the herring. Yeah. This is the herring and caper.
At the end of the night, when it's nice and clean, we feel good about it, and we walk around, make sure it's really nice for when everybody comes in the morning. Okay. It looks good and smells good.
Here is where each fisherman's lot of fish comes through. It gets dumped into this hopper. A conveyor belt brings it in through to the heading machine. An employee lays this fish on its side, proceeds to the blade. The blades remove the head. The second machine is called the splitter. Its purpose is to remove the center bone, or as we call it, sound bone. An employee takes the fish from the small catch table, its tail pointing into the splitter. Clamps rotate around and grab the tails, pulling the fish through, and the blades split the cod, removing sound bone. The fish proceeds on to a conveyor belt, where an employee uses a spoon to loosen blood, also removing any liver or belly cavity. As the fish proceeds further, the next employee uses a soft bristle brush, cleans away any remaining blood or cavity. The fish also goes through the water spray, and an employee places those fish into a vat which is tagged individually with a lot of information.
So far we covered like what happens inside the plant, but a big part of what happens at the fish plant in general is what happens out there outside with the forklifts, with the boats coming in.
Yep, that's
and
right.
all that stuff, right? Like,
if it wasn't for that, we wouldn't be able to process anything. And the thing is, when the boats come in, they do their thing, and Morgan usually takes over.
With the cod or...
Well, when a boat shows up with the fish, monitor has to be present, so we start with there. And once the monitor's there, we'll tear off a slush because that all got to be witnessed. It'll all be pre-weighed, and then from that process, after that part is done, it'll go to the QCs, quality control. They'll do the samples and whatnot, and after that it's just ice really good and parked away either in a cold storage or whatever's convenient at the time.
What is a monitor?
Monitor is someone who's present that works for the DFO.
Oh, for DFO.
And they witness all the weights that's coming out of the boat.
Years ago, they would take pitchforks, and drive in the fish and throw the fish up on the wharf. Right?
Yeah.
Like you see old pictures of that.
Yeah, none of that anymore.
How do you get the fish out of the boat?
So with the boat crew in the boat, as in the fishermen and their crew, they'll hand bomb the fish into what we would call a bucket, I guess, on a winch. Okay. And we'll winch it up out of the boat, and then it's dumped into a slush for it to go way off.
Okay. So it's still a manual process?
It is definitely a manual process, yeah, other than that winch.
Okay.
Is it the same process for like all the species of fish, or?
Pretty much. Capelin, same thing. Herring, doesn't matter. It's all pre-weighed and witnessed.
Awesome, thank you.
All good?
Yeah.
You got to do a science. Forklifts going around here, man. They're in sequence.
Taking the herring from the boat to the plant to be processed. It's amazing, how coordinated it is, though. A major reason why the fish plant is so successful is it was able to evolve.
A part of that evolution is the technology in the fish plant. They used to use knives. Now it's all machinery.
Not only is the evolution shown in its technology over at the fish plant, they also diversified the species. In the 1990s, the cod moratorium shut down the entire fish industry, essentially. And the fish plant had to diversify their species.
Yeah, they also process like trout, salmon, even skate wings.
I don't even know what skate wing is.
Yeah, but they do it.
On July 2nd, 1992, the single largest industrial layoff in Canadian history commenced. The cod moratorium was declared and shut down 500 years of fishing tradition and put around 30,000 people out of work, devastating Newfoundland's economy and communities. The cod population had fallen to about 1% of its historical size. Like many plants, the Dover fish plant had to evolve. Of course, this was not a new concept for Dover, as the workplace had been steadily evolving ever since its beginning.
Initially, it was just started to be like an airing shack.
Yes,
just for people
exactly.
To summer break.
This is why when the moratorium went through, the plant workers here didn't get it because they done more airing than they done cod.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't.
They didn't
you would have
qualify.
a certain percent. You had to have 55% more or something like that. And they, because of the more pelagics than the groundfish, then they didn't qualify. As things got bigger and bigger and pieces got put onto the plant, he decided then that it was very difficult to get trucking. So he started a trucking business. Jim was days that he didn't even go home. He had a bunk put in part of the kitchen in there, and that's where he would sleep. And he had a shower put out in the washrooms. So from 7 to 10 to 12 days during Caitlin, Jim might not even been home at all. Some days he would run in for an hour to see new baby son, because I was babysitting at the time too. And it was like a rat race. They had very little to work with, but what they worked with, they made it work. And this Jim's been here 44 years. So he put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears in 44 years. From a phone and a piece of paper to do the time sheets and do the calculations. We are now full-fledged. We just actually got a new phone system. Everybody got a computer in front of them. We're gone to 4 office staff to, I think we got 10 when we count downstairs and upstairs. So this company has really expanded in the last 44 years. And like you say, the head of the helm was Jim. I think it's 12 years, 15 years. He gave up downstairs where you could stand up, look at the window and see the production, and moved his office up there and gave the helm over downstairs to Jamie, because he just couldn't do it all. So while Jamie's down looking after the production part of things, he's up here on the phone making sure he's got product for the next day or anything that's required before the next day, regardless if it's Caitlin or cod or whatever else, or sales or whatever.
This is Pierre and May and Pierre, husband and wife. They worked at the plant together for a while. Pierre was over there for 40 years, was it? 39 years, and May...
Gee, I can't even remember. I'll say it's 35 years for sure.
Okay.
I asked Pierre to get me a job over the plant. No, you're not going over there. He said, I won't be able to work worrying about you with your fingers chopped off. So I went up over and seen Jim. And Jim said, yes, well, I think I can take you on. He said, pick up slack for Pierre. Right?
No, I just put application in saw at the same time that you were doing a cutting course.
Okay.
So I signed in for it, and I've been there ever since.
Yeah.
I can do every species in the water. When I first started, I think my first job was buckets of water over the edge of the wharf.
Yeah.
Didn't even have a pump there.
And even then, like back then too, like when they were, when the boats would come in, they'd be taking, like, you know, dead nets and throwing the fish up on the wharf, you know. Now it's done with a big pumps, you know, that sucks it all out. So there's a completely different atmosphere over there now. They can work and
38 years I was on that pump.
doing that. Yeah.
Pumping fish.
What were some of the biggest changes that you seen? Was that like the biggest, like going from hand baling or a lot more labor to more equipment?
Pump.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the separators, keeping separators, it's all on computer now.
Yeah.
What about you as a splitter?
Well, we only just, on the end of it, we never had split no fish. Just a few rejects or something like that.
And maybe like since you were over there, what was the biggest change you seen? Like, cause
The automation.
Automation part of it, yeah. Yeah, that's
Because when you were doing Caitlin and hearing and stuff like that, by the end of the day, your back was broke. Yeah. Over there now, for me, I could stand up there 16 hours and work, and you know, it's not what you call hard work. there anymore. It's comfortable. It's comfortable work.
How did the plant impact Dover, like since you've been there?
A lot. Right to Indian Bay to Gamble.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Everybody was working there.
Right.
People was the reason why they're here. Fine.
We've been extremely lucky that we got someone that works so hard to get work for us.
How did you find like workplace culture? You know what I mean?
It's like family.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure to go to work. You know, you're going to work and you know you're going to have a laugh today. Or fish plant is very good at multitasking.
Oh yeah.
But we've had a lot of people in the fish plant, like John Button. After John Button passed away, you walk in the fish plant and you're looking up and you're expecting to see him there, and you know you really misses him. Doug, at the end of every shift when we were doing Caitlin, Doug would always come over and go, "Is there anything else you need? Is there something I can do to help you?" You misses it, big time. I even dread to think about that this is going to be my last year. Can't even talk about it. This is what's killing Pear right now. Caitlin season is starting. It got him killed dead thinking about the crew going off on the road. And he's not going to be there, and it's a hard adjustment. But, I mean, even when Pear was in St. John's, we had workers from the plant come in and visit Pear in St. John's. It speaks volumes.
We were over there filming and they were talking about Pear. And everybody was asking if Pear was. But
I wish I could start working.
Yeah. What would you say to someone who wanted, say, to go over there and just starting tonight, like a 17, 16-year-old kid?
Just want to work and do a good honest day's work and everything will be okay.
You got to have good work ethic. You know, be a team player. I love it. Can't imagine working anywhere.
Most workers at the Dover Fish Plant don't all live in the town of Dover. They live in the surrounding towns.
And just like the community beyond us here, Bay, the fish plant is the economic driver for a lot of these communities, all in this area.
Well, the plant is probably one of the biggest industries that we've had in this area for the last, since I've been there, 45 years. When this plant started production, we were hiring from 7 different communities, from Gamble to Indian Bay. So right now, we still have a percentage of our workers from Gamble and Hare Bay, and so far as Indian Bay. When we started this plant, first year that I worked there, we had 375 workers. 375 workers from Gamble to Indian Bay. 70% of that, believe it or not, was from Dover. Right now we got 90 workers full-time and about 30 casuals. Still from Gamble to Indian Bay, with the majority of the workers from Hare Bay and Dover. The workers have been so devoted over the years. This is the reason why this plant is where it's to now. If it wasn't for the workers, we wouldn't be here today. And of course, the company that we work for. I mean, we're working for probably the best company in the province that got respect for the workers and likes to show them appreciation by helping to create the work that we're creating right now. We've got an history here of workers that came here 30, 35, 40 years ago and that spend their whole life here working at the plant. It's normal for any industry. You can't keep your workers forever. They worked very hard for a lot of years, built this plant the way it is built now. You know, I'm so proud of them that they stood behind the company and believed in the plant as I did, that someday that she would be where she's to today, actually. I wouldn't put this plant number 2 in this province right now. To me, she's number 1, and the workforce is number 1. And our company we work for is number 1. All that didn't happen overnight. That happened years and years of hard work and planning. Just hope that there's a day coming that people can still work here, be home with their family, and have a place to go to every year for employment. The 2 biggest factors right now in our industry is our workforce. Age. All workforce is aging, and there's not enough young people that's coming in behind the older people that's going out. A lot of our young people is moving out of the community. Plus the population is not the same. Both communities now is almost 50% left, so you don't have the workers to pick from that you did back then. So that's one of our major factors right now. So to overcome that, we're putting in extra equipment, automatic equipment that don't need so much workforce. That's doing 2 things for our industry and our plant. Number 1 is helping us get through the product in a reasonable time to keep reasonable quality up. And number 2 is making it a lot easier for our workforce right now. Our workers now don't have to work so hard. They don't have to manually handle the fish. They don't have to lift up the boxes. It's all done with machinery now, so that makes a big difference to your workforce. What I alluded to earlier is when I started there, we was hiring from 7 communities. We had over 300 workers there. And I had a folder here with 6 inches of applications in them, people waiting to get to work. And now if an application comes in the door now, we hire it right away. We're afraid that we lose them. That's one of the major factors right now in the industry. The other big factor is that everybody, you just got to turn on your news or your social media, quotas. When we started processing fish here in Dover, you waste more on the wharf than you process now, just offloading. A little bit of exaggerating, you waste more, but the amount of quota back then compared to now, completely different. Just in Bonavista Bay alone, we would have 4 weeks just processing capelin. We have 2 days now. The problem we got right now is the amount of fishermen, the amount of plant workers that depend on that pound of fish. The quotas is not there too. It is a major problem, yeah. When I come down in the morning, the trucks is over by John Nova's turn. The last truck is over by John Nova's turn, the first one is there, that's when I'm happy. Or 8 or 10 boats out off the wharf waiting to get in. There's been a lot of changes. I mean, I can give you some examples. Of course, we just said one change, the number of workers. The other big change is amazing is the species that you're catching and how you're catching it. When I started, they were catching codfish like you wouldn't believe with the traps. You could turn on CBC or the Fisherman's Broadcast and see the fish floating out through the harbor because the plant was full when they didn't want it no more. They used to take it and prong it overboard. Go out next morning, all the trap, bring some fresh stuff in because the plant could buy it this morning, but they couldn't buy it yesterday evening. The other big factor is utilization. Back then, most of the product that came in was processed and the balance of it was thrown back in the ocean. Right now, most plants, including this one, utilize the species 100%. Every pound of fish comes over the wharf is utilized. I spent about 30 years there. Every male capelin went back out in the ocean. We only had a market for female capelin. We buy 1 million pounds of cod now. There's not 1 pound thrown back in the ocean. Our tongue is just utilized. Our cheeks is utilized. All our flesh on the cod is utilized. And anything that's left over is packed up for mink feed. The biggest problem we got is we don't have the quotas to keep our workforce as busy as we'd like, especially during the summer and the fall months. Another thing that I'm really proud of actually is the rules and regulations that's in place now for a fish plant compared to what it was before. The reason why I wanted this video, I don't expect that the fisheries are going to be giving us more quota because they've seen this video. I don't expect Mr. Barry to be giving me another $1 million because he's seen this video for putting more equipment. But I'm hoping that it will help. The biggest problem that I got there is workforce. Because there's still people out there got this concept that a fish plant is a dirty old slubby place with blood and gore all over the floor. You got to wear proper rubber pants when you goes in there, and you got to know how to use a knife. I'm hoping that there's some young people out there now that are walking around that would like a job, see this video, say, I didn't think the fish plant was like that. I mean, we got people in our community here walking to work that makes good money. Just to let them know that it's a nice place to work. It's comfortable. It's not hard work anymore. It's clean. Plus the thing is, there's so many jobs there that people don't realize. I mean, we got engineers there. We got QC personnel there. We got office workers there. There's so many jobs here in the plant that got nothing to do with fish really. So where's it all going to end up? I just hope that years to come that this plant will be bigger and better than what it is now. It's something that the workers worked hard for, and hopefully it just stays around for a long time. Right now, this is an industry that has proven itself. There's always going to be fish in the ocean. There's always going to be markets. It's just a matter of the workers being interested enough to train and take a career. Our workforce that have worked pretty damn hard there to put this plant where it's to today. They should be all really proud of what they've accomplished.
Jim wanted this video to show appreciation for his workforce, community, and company, as well as to attract more workers to continue the legacy of the plant. However, it would not have been possible without his efforts throughout the last 45 years.
Well, we hope you enjoyed the Dover fish plant, but we got something special coming up now.
Sorry, Jim, we had to.
So one of the main reasons Jim wanted to do this was to have something to show the community, and not only this community, Dover, but like the surrounding communities, to give back to the community to show what the community itself and the people that work there, the workers, what they brought to the plant and what they made the plant become. The fish plant over there right now, wouldn't be what it is today with Jim Payne in my view, you know.
I have no hesitation. Jim Payne is a catalyst. Jim worked that plant night and day.
Yeah, we slept there.
You could go over and find Jim on the forklift.
Carl was the principal of our school for, while I was there.
72
Danny
until
was there.
96.
Yeah.
72 till 96.
And I graduated in 96, so that would have been your
So you had finished.
And Jim was in school with everybody in this area had Carl, Mr. Parsons, we would have called him, as a principal, pretty much. Well, everybody I know. But I was Jim as a student, you know.
Everything that Jim has been at the plant, Jim was as a student. I could say Jim was almost as good as another person on staff. He had the leadership skill then. He was positive, very dependable. You know, of all the kids in the school, we had so many kids that were superb leaders. And Jim was among the top.
Thank you for your time, Carl. You answered everything that we could ask, and thank you very much.
So Jim, to me, as many things, I've been here since I was 17, so I've seen many factors of my life, so he means so much. He's also my father-in-law. But I find Jim is very respectful, very fair, and he, most of all, is dedicated, not just to the workers, to his family. I have a daughter, and if she needs anything, he will be dropping all pins, all phone calls, everything to go get her. He is such a dedicated grandfather. When Jana needs anything, he's running. He drops everything to make sure she gets what she needs. And such as on a weekend, if they have plans together, it's, what do you want to do, Jana? Where are we going, Jana? And no matter if you got to spend hours before to get the trailer ready, to get the boats ready, or even just to sit down and make the plans with her. I gotta admit, he's such a dedicated person, and for that, I'm so grateful that he's a wonderful grandfather.
I can tell you a story with Jim. He put that many hours in there. We used to go in the morning, he'd sleep till this.
Yeah.
And he's the one put her like she is there today.
Jim is the type of person too. Jim is not only a hard worker for the fish plant, Jim is a hard worker for his community. We've experienced it firsthand. Our house burned, and we wouldn't have had a place to live. Jim started up this thing, and within a month, we had a house put back from the community, from the workers, from the fishermen, from the bilberries, plant, you know. It was unbelievable.
3 weeks.
It was in November, and we had Christmas dinner in our house. And you don't get many bosses like that.
No.
The amount of support and stuff you get in a small community like this is phenomenal. What would be the point of a fish plant if we didn't have someone who was so dedicated and so passionate, you know? I mean, for a small community like here, Jim have done Christmas parades, decorating the floats. He'd have the kids up there with hot chocolate marshmallows. In the summer, he used to do a little thing up in Hare Park for the kids. And he's all about family.
And we went on the road and nobody went hungry. The money's there. Steaks don't matter.
I really think that the fish plant wouldn't be what it is
if it wasn't for Jim.
If it wasn't for Jim. I've never met anybody so dedicated, so passionate, to care so much about his workers, about his community, about his family. We wouldn't have what we got here right now if it wasn't for Jim.
You mentioned Jim, and he was instrumental like in getting your house back, getting your home back, not just your house, your home. Are you able to talk about that a little bit more, or are you forced to?
They can talk about it. I can't.
I just appreciate it so much, but it's a touching.
Yeah. Yes, obviously, yeah.
I come from the hospital with young Perry, and our house was burned. And Perry had to have this minor procedure done. And I was coming down over the hill, and like when you come down over the hill, you could see where our house was, right? Perry said, "Mother, I think there's a house in our garden." And I thought it was from where they hadn't put
you didn't even know.
And stuff, right?
Oh my God.
And I said, "No, sweetheart, don't you worry about that stuff, Perry. Everything's gonna be fine. You need a house in our garden." And when I come around the turn, there was that many people in the garden. There was like people with tables set up, and they were giving people food, and I can remember getting out the car, and I think it was Rob or Rich, one of them, and I went over and said to him, "What are they doing? Do they know we got no money?" Like, where's the money coming from for all this? And he said, "Man, don't worry." Now, Jim had a conversation with Pierre a little bit before that, but I don't think we understood the extent of what
Yeah, he was probably
what it entailed.
but not absorbing it.
Because the first couple of nights we slept down in cabin.
Yeah.
And we had a stove with the glass door. And I woke up and I seen the flickering. I started screaming, fire! Poor old Beard down on his knees, rushing to get out. Comes out, right, it's the stove. But it's just...
Yeah, it's like the PTSD, I guess.
Yeah.
The reflection on the walls.
There's something that you'll always be thankful for, and there's not a way in the world to ever express your appreciation, the gratitude, you know. It was a rough time.
Yeah, thank you very much for this, for doing the interview. Thank you, May, for sitting in, and Pierre, thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
No, in saying that, boys, you know, in all honesty, Jim is one remarkable man, and, you know, we're very, very lucky to have had him. Very lucky to even know him. Because he can, no matter what he touches, he can make it happen.
Yeah, 27 years February gone. What happened is Jim was to Christmas dinner and Guy spoke up. He said, Jim, anything comes up plant, he said, let Daff know. He said, because next year, he said, I'm finished with Toronto. So Lynn fell down and broke her arm. So Jim called me 1st of February. He called me, he said, you know, he said, Lynn got a cast on. He said, yeah, he said, she needs some work out up plant. He said, you think you come up and give her and I said, I suppose. So first thing he done, I had to go to Gainer get a computer because there was only one computer for her. And then we started in, and then Guy decided, well, we could do the 6-month thing. So he used to go up May month. Jim used to give me 3 weeks off summertime to take the kids up, see their father and stuff. We come back in August and I come back in December.
Yeah.
So I was a single parent for 9 months a year most times.
Yeah.
5 years like that, and enough was enough, right? So he moved on then. So Jim is my brother. He's my oldest brother, and I'm the youngest sister. So growing up, of course, we lost Dad at a young age. I was 27, and so Jim is 8 years older than me. So Jim turned into a dad figure. He turned into my boss. And we can still argue with each other as we do as family. We call Jim up out of that. We do. Crazy. And if anything goes on in our family, like when my grandson was born, there was little issues and stuff. Jim was the first one that texted me and said, I know the baby's born, but you haven't called. You haven't told us anything. What's going on? Like he knew something was going on. He could feel, he knew. Because he knew I would have called or been on Facebook with it or whatever. But Lillian House, Edith Rogers, Mom, Irene Parsons, and Eileen Wiseman. That was the first 5 women. There was 22 people hired, and they had to have so many women. And they were the first 5 women that lived there, that worked there. And all of our family worked there, except for Benson and Sister Hilda. Linda's was there, Brenton's downstairs, I'm there now. And Jim, and Jim's wife, these 2 boys is there. So, yeah.
Yeah, but definitely became a family.
I'm surprised his granddaughter will probably be down another couple of years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, there you have it. The Dover Fish Plant. Told you it was historic.
To us. Thanks for watching, the Outdoor Guys. We hope you enjoyed the video. We really enjoyed filming it. And see you on the next one. I'm Tony.
I'm Danny.
We're the Outdoor Guys.
This is Dover Fish Plant.